Can't control my drip. Sauce all on, who gon' clean this shit? Sauce all on, ice on my neck, ice on my bitch.
So this is the watercolor that we're gonna be doing today. The watercolor method. We're gonna be doing these colors. This is a 613 hair that came from Miss Eullair's hair. Came in this bag right here. So we're gonna be using this for this video, and this is gonna be the watercolor method that I'm gonna be doing on my sister's bundles for Miami. So first, we're gonna go ahead and tint the frontal. So I like to use the Rit dark brown, and then we're gonna take some salt. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there with the hot top water, and then we're gonna take the Rit dye, pour it in there. I'm gonna take my whisk, and I'm just gonna mix it all together. Alrighty, so here we go. Just a good amount. Don't want to put too much because that thing is really dark. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix it. And we're just gonna dip the lace in there. We're not gonna keep it in there too long because we don't want it to take it on to mess up the color. I'm also gonna spray the frontal down with some Got to Be glue spray just so that it doesn't you know, mess up the knots on the lace. So all we want to do is just make sure we tint it but not mess up any of the knots. All right, so we're all good. So we're gonna go ahead and Got to Be glue spray the frontal and get right to the rest of the video. And you want to just spray it all over just so that you make sure that it doesn't get, you know, over colored with the tint. And you want to make sure you keep it on there and it dries before you go ahead and do it. So it has to be dry before you go ahead and stick it into the tint. So while that's going ahead and dry, we're gonna go ahead and my sister's helping me do her hair to her own hair, do the coloring to her own hair. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go ahead and add tap hot water to both buckets, and we're gonna start watercoloring the bundles while the frontal stays in dry. Once the frontal is done drying and it's hard, we're gonna go ahead and add it to the tint, and then we're gonna pull it out, and then we'll start the watercolor. Now we're gonna go ahead and use the tap water and fill the buckets up, or the bins up with water. We're not gonna fill them all the way up. We're gonna fill them about halfway, just so we can get enough water into it and be able to mix the colors in really well. You just wanna make sure the water's hot enough. So just go ahead and let this get full, and then we'll do the same process to the other bucket. The tail is hot, the whole bin is starting to fog up. So about here's where we're gonna go ahead and stop. So that much water is basically all you need. We don't need it all the way up here. That's too much water, so we're gonna go ahead and stop it right about here. Okay, so we got a 20-inch, a 18, and that's the 16, and then the 14 is the frontal. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the 20, and what we're gonna do first is we're gonna go ahead and take this mixing bowl. We're gonna add the Pastel-izer Manic in there, and we're gonna mix it with fruit punch, cotton candy, pink petal. We're gonna mix those colors in the bowl before we add them to the water, because we want to make sure all the colors are mixed really good, because the color that my sister's trying to get is, she's trying to stay at a pastel color, but she wants to do it with all these colors mixed together. So we're just gonna add that into the mixing bowl, and we're gonna go ahead and mix it all together with the whisk, and then we'll put the colors in, and you guys will start. So let's get into this video. So now we're adding the fruit punch first. Okay. And then we're gonna go ahead and do cotton candy. All right. Now we're gonna go ahead and add the pink petal. All right. That's a pretty color. All right. So now we're gonna go ahead and mix that all together with the Pastel-izer. She wants a pastel color, so we're gonna make sure we mix it all together really good. The Pastel-izer. You can still see it's starting to come out. I mean, if we want to add a little bit more, if you always want to add a little bit more, you can. So the color she's trying to get, she doesn't want it to be too bright. So since she's doing a pasteurized color and she wants a pastel color, we're gonna go ahead and add a little bit more of the Manic because this looks really bright and she doesn't want it bright. She wants the pastel color, so I'm gonna add a little bit more of the Manic Pastel-izer. And we're gonna mix that in. And then we're gonna go ahead and add it to both waters. We're gonna add it to both buckets of water. Once all of it is mixed really good. All mixed in really well. Alrighty. So now we're gonna go ahead and start dumping the color. We're gonna go ahead and add the color into the buckets. Mix it in with the other whisk and then add. So we're gonna add half and half into both buckets, just so that we can watercolor 2 bundles at the same time, since she has 3 bundles in the frontal. So we're gonna do 2 bundles at a time, and then we're gonna do the frontal as well. Once it's been tinted, we'll go ahead and add it in. And the only reason why we do the tinting is so that it matches your skin tone. So when you put it on, because normally when you do color, you want it to not be tinted too much, so where people could be like, oh my God, I can see 2 different colors and it's brown and stuff. But no, you just want it to be tinted so it matches your skin tone. It's like, wow, it's melted to your skin. So I'll go ahead and mix the waters. So she's mixing the other one, I'm mixing this one, and we're just gonna go ahead and make sure all of that dye you see in the water is all gone. So this is the color she basically was trying to get. This is basically a light pink. So this is what she was going for. So if we would have left it the way we did with the first pasteurization Manic in there, it would have came out a darker shade of pink, which she doesn't want. So that's why we added a little bit more of the pasteurization in there, so we can get this pastel light pink. So as you can see, the water is good, clear, ready to go. All of the dye is gone in both bins. So we're gonna go ahead and start adding the bundles and dipping them in and showing you what they look like. All right, so here's the first bundle. All right, I'm gonna do a test, see if it's gonna take the color first. Testing to see if it's taking the color. If it doesn't, then we know to add a little bit more to the water. So as you can see, the color is not taking. So we're gonna add some more color just to the water and start mixing. So we're gonna add cotton candy. We're gonna add cotton candy. She added some pink petal. And now we're gonna add fruit punch. Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and mix it all together again. So we're gonna get all that color mixed all in. Alrighty, so we're gonna go ahead and try it again. So it did take a little bit. I thought it didn't take at all, but it did. The color did take on there a little bit. which isn't too bad. So that's what the color she's basically going for, but we just add a little bit more so it can get darker. So here we go with the second test. But this time we're just gonna dip it more, and we're gonna leave it in there and let it soak. So we're gonna take the whisk and dump it all the way in and let it sit in there, so it could take the color a little bit more. And then we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing with the next bundle. So I'm just gonna open up the next bundle and do the same thing. And that is the 18 inch. I'm gonna do that with the 18. This is the 20 that's in here right now. So we're just gonna make sure it's just staying in there and it gets saturated with the color. We don't want any result is so that we don't have any more blonde pieces left. So you have to make sure we soak it in the color. So I'm making sure all of the hair is in the water. No more pieces are coming up of the blonde, so they can sit in there. We're gonna let them sit in there for about wow, it didn't even take that long. Look at that. And that's the piece that's on the spatula. That's ridiculously beautiful. I love that. Okay, so now we're gonna start with the next one into the next water, and we're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna soak them in there, probably leave them in there for about 5-10 minutes, but we're still gonna pull them up to check them and make sure the color is taking on them. So yeah, this process is really easy. I love it way better than actually doing the whole brush and dyeing. The watercolor method saves so much time versus having to paint on the color or brush on the color using the bowl and the dye brush. So this saves so much more time and money. You spend way less more money on it when you do this, because you only use at least maybe one bottle of each color if you're doing different colors, and then it's easier versus you buying like 6 to 10 dyes and having to brush on the color. So this is what it looks like. We didn't even let it sit for 5 minutes yet, but as you can see, it took on the color that she wanted. We're just gonna put it back in there because you still see some blonde pieces in there. But as you can tell, the pastel color did work. So we're gonna add a little bit more of the pink petal. That's what she wants to add in there. So we're gonna add a little bit more of that. We're gonna mix it in and make sure it takes the color, because that's the color, more of the color that she wants to get. So this is the second one. We already dumped the other one back in there again with the pink petal color added in there one more time. This is the second one, so you still see some blonde pieces. So we're gonna go ahead and add some more pink petal to this water as well, and we're gonna dump it right back in there again. But as you can tell, that's the color that she basically was looking for, a nice pink pastel color. If you want it even more lighter, all you have to do is just basically rinse out the color more. Once you get to washing it, you just rinse it out a few times and then it'll get lighter and lighter. So that's basically all you're gonna do. So we're just gonna go ahead and whisk this color in and then dump that hair right back in. And yeah, I'm gonna just continue to repeat the same process because we're gonna do it to the frontal and the last bundle as well. Okay, now we're gonna add it back in, and we're gonna make sure it stays to the bottom so it can take the color. So as you can tell, the frontal is really, really hard now. It got to be glued, so now we're gonna go ahead and tint it in the right dye. So you just want to tint the lace. So you're just gonna do exactly that. We're just gonna do that, and it's just basically gonna tint the lace of the hair. We don't want it. It's not gonna. We're gonna wash it out really, really quick to make sure it doesn't stain the hair, because we're not keeping the hair this color. So we're just doing the lace. So that's all we're gonna do to the whole frontal. Let's just dip the whole thing in there so that the lace can get tinted to her skin tone. And then we're gonna wash it out so that the color does not stain and mess up the hair. So we're gonna go ahead and pull it out, and this is what it looks like once you tint the lace. So this is what I meant by tinting the lace. So the color that's on there now, we're going to go ahead and wash it out so that way it doesn't stay like that. So we're going to go rinse it out with basically a yellowness tone color shampoo, or you can just rinse it with the Tresemme and it'll take all of it out. So we can just dip it in there and it'll take on the pink. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so this is the color we got. We went ahead and added more of the cotton candy and pink petal, and then this is what we got. This is the ending result. So the fruit punch is a little bit more darker, on the darker side, so we just went with the lighter colors just to finish the pastel out. So on camera it looks orange, it looks brighter, but in person it's actually really pastel. It's the pastel pink that she was going for. So we went ahead and added the next bundle in the water. We're gonna add more color to it because, you know, the other bundle already took a lot of the color out of the water, so we're gonna add more color to it so that it can take on more of the color. But as you can see, it took on whatever was left in the water. It took on most of it. So we're gonna go ahead and add more of the cotton candy in there. And then the last one to do is the frontal. So I'm gonna go ahead and wash the frontal out and take out more of that brown Rit dye color that was in there. We're gonna take it out of the hair. I'm gonna go ahead and pour this out because we no longer need it. We only needed to tint the lace. Now that the lace is tinted, we can go ahead and pour this out, and then we can start coloring the frontal. So we're gonna go ahead and use all of the color out of the bottle. So we put some water in there and then just dumped it right back in there. And yeah, you just want it to be, basically want to use all of it so the color can stay on the hair. And that's basically all we're doing. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and pour the Rit dye color out. And rinse the bowl. Okay. And we're gonna go ahead and use the generic conditioning shampoo Eullair Shimmer Lights, and also we can use also the Eullair Shimmer Lights in the purple bottle. So we're going to use it to rinse out the frontal, just because we're going to take more of that brown color out. So to wash it out, you have to rub it really, really good to get it out. So what we're doing is just taking my fingers and rubbing through it. And we're going to add the shampoo on there. So we're going to add the Shimmer Lights. Go ahead and add the Shimmer Lights purple bottle on there. And I'm going to take the color out of the hair, and then we'll add the hair into the watercolor that she's doing now, and we're just going to rinse this whole brown out of the hair so that the pink, more of the pink can go in it instead of that brown. We only wanted to tint the lace, not the hair. So I'm just going to do that to rinse all that brown out. You're just gonna put your fingers and scrub through there and get all the brown out. As you can see, it is coming out. So yeah, this is like a fast process. Once you Rit dye it, you have to make sure you run to the bathroom or whatever you gotta do, or wherever your sink is. I said before, the Rit dye is a very fast process thing that you have to do, so you have to make sure you're like scrubbing in between the hair to get all the brown out of it. So as you can tell, we did a great job with that. So I'm still gonna go ahead and continue to scrub out of off the ends, but as you can see, it was more brown before, but we took a lot of the brown out so that it can go back to the 613 color, so it can take the pink a lot better. Now it's still, the lace is still tinted, which is what we were trying to get. So see, now it's gonna match her hair color. I mean her skin tone. It's gonna match. My bad. It's gonna match her skin tone. So when she puts the frontal on, it's gonna melt to her skin because it's now in her skin tone. The lace is now matching her skin tone. So This is what I meant by tinting, which is very easy. And the other thing you can do if you didn't want it to get, okay, so this is what it looks like after you rinse out most of the grit dye out of it. So you just continue to go around and do that. And now you can still color it with the pink and it'll still take it really, really, really nice and really well. Another thing you can do to make sure the grit dye doesn't get on the hair is I could have the spray got to be glued spray on the hair, and then it wouldn't tint the hair as well. So that's another thing you can do. And as you can tell, it's tinted, it's nice, it'll still take the color really well, and it won't mess it up or anything like that, which is good. So that's why it's always better to tint it before you color. So this is why we do that. And then this is what it'll look like after you finish taking it out. So it's going to be on the darker pastel color, but it'll be really, really nice. They look like after they've been taken out of the bins. This is the color. So we're going to go ahead and wash them out with the shimmer light and in the purple bottle, and we're also going to use the rest of the white bottle shimmer lights, and we're going to go ahead and use those to take the brassiness and the yellowness out, and basically to get the color to be a little bit more pastel, because right now it looks really dark. So we're going to go ahead and just wash them out really good with those, and then we'll make it on the pastel color. Now I'm going to go ahead and just do the last watercolor method just to the frontal, and then we'll do the same thing with the frontal as well. And that's the end of it. A lot of people are like, oh my god, is it going to stain the lace? Is it going to stain the lace? No, it does not stain the lace. So it just goes, the color only goes on the hair. So since there is no more color left in the water, it's not taking any color. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it in the other bucket and let it sit in there while I color the water. So we're gonna add some fruit punch. Not a lot because we're not doing a dark color. We're doing a lighter color. And we're gonna go ahead and add some more of that cotton candy. Whatever's left of the cotton candy. Up the cotton candy bottle, and we're just going to pour it in there, take some water, and basically shake it inside of the bottle to make sure we get all the color out. So just take the bottle, and shake it in there, make sure all the color around the bottle is in the water. So you want it to be clean. That's all we're doing. And you want to look in there, and we got some more color. Just gonna shake the water all in there. So you're gonna shake that water in there. There we go. Do it again. Basically it. Now we're gonna add the rest of the pink petal. And that's all we got left. And then we're gonna go ahead and mix it all together and add the rest of the pink petal. And then we're gonna mix it all together and add the frontal in there. So I'm gonna take the whisk. Whisk it all together. Make sure all that color is gone out of the water. So all the colors dissolve. We're gonna go ahead and add the frontal in. And that'll be it. And then I will be doing, I will be making a wig out of this. So my sister asked me, can I make a wig for her? So I'll be making it into a wig, and then I'll let you guys see how I make that into a wig. And then yeah, so if she wants it to be tweezed or plucked a little bit more, we pushed it down in the water, and we're gonna let it sit in there and take on the color. So as far as the customization process, I'll show you guys all of that and how I do all that and all the works of that So if I'm gonna tweeze it, I'll tweeze it and show you guys how to do that. And then yeah, so I'm gonna be making a wig out of it for my sister. She asked me, can I make a wig for her with this hair? So I'm gonna go ahead and do that as well. So I will be making sure to show you guys how I do that, and then you guys get to see what she'll look like when she goes to Miami, you know? So, okay, now it's all mixed in all together. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the frontal and take it out of this water. Colored a little bit, but not too much. So we're just gonna take it out of that color and drop it into this one. And as you can see, it didn't even tint the lace at all. So the lace is still the same thing. So we're gonna go ahead and make sure we soak it in there. Another reason why I like the watercolor method is when you do it, you see none of the color got in the tub at all. So it doesn't stain as much as when you do regular brush on dye. It stains. So you didn't see no stains, no color running. It just takes the color very perfect and really, really nice. So as you can see, we washed them out and they came out way more pastel on the pastel side. So I know on camera it looks really, really bright, but it's not. It's on the pastel side now. So once it's air dried, which we're gonna go ahead and let it air dry, and you guys get to see what it'll look like tomorrow, because tomorrow I'll be constructing the wig and you guys get to see what the air dry product looks like. So once it's air dry, maybe you guys will be able to see that it's more on the pastel color, but I guess because it's still wet, it still looks. And this is what they look like now. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. And as you can see, they're hanging from the hangers in the tub, and you see nothing is dripping. No color is dripping at all, which is why I like the watercolor method. No color is dripping at all. And it's like you just see the hair and you don't see any color. That's why I love the watercolor method. It doesn't stain, you don't get drips of color everywhere, and it's just much more easier and less of a mess. So see, they're just dripping water, but no colors coming out, which is amazing. So yeah, that's why I love doing watercolor method, and I'm gonna continue to make sure I do watercolor method. Wait till you guys see the color I'm going to do for my bundle. Until you guys see what color I'm going to be doing for my bundles for spring break, because baby, we on a new spring break wave, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, this is beautiful. It came out really, really, really nice. So who knows, we might do a patch look on the frontal. I'm thinking about it. I try to convince her to do it, so who knows, she might like it. Might do a patch look with the fruit punch, just because, you know, these are lighter and the fruit punch is darker. So I think it would be really, really nice if she did a patch look. So we might do a patch look on there. So stay tuned. All right, so time to reveal the frontal. Now we let it sit in there for a good 10 to 15 minutes. So this is what it came out like. I told you it'll still take the color, the pink, really, really nice. So just gonna wash it with the shampoos to get all the yellowness out and the brassiness out, and tone it down a little bit more. It's a little on the bright side. Just going ahead and, you know, get all the water out of it. And then I'll do a quick rinse, and she's ready to go. And then that, beautiful hair. Just finished coloring my sister's hair from Miami. Do y'all see that frontal? And then look at her bundles. She got 3 bundles. Just did the color myself. Bruh, I'm about to make this wig and she finna be lit. You ain't gonna be able to tell her nothing. Yes. You just don't know, man. You just don't know.
I'm in a drip like that. I'm too rich like that. Get a bitch just like that.